Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is AMA number 33. It's about damn time. It's hard to find time in the middle of the season. This is recorded on a Tuesday, right after scrims. Scrims are going good. I'm excited for the LEC for this weekend. We play against XL and SK. Any team is kind of hyped to play against, but that's, a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. Got some questions. If you have any questions or if your question was unanswered, please leave a comment in the YamatoCannon subreddit. Join us on the Discord, the usual jazz. Please subscribe in order to defeat. Who are we defeating this time? We are defeating... Who are we defeating? Find the next enemy for me. Leave a comment below. I'm wearing my North Face / Gucci. Gucci hooked us up. Looks pretty damn cool. It's an oversized t-shirt, so it looks like I'm wearing a lot of fabric. Not usually what I wear, but Gucci's Gucci. Let's jump into the damn questions. Honker Noodles asks, not sure if too late or not, do you think there are any big discrepancies in public perception of the strength of a champion or item in game right now and its true strength? For example, everyone complaining about Camille, but maybe it's not that bad, or some other discrepancy. I think there are clear examples of the public being right, and there are situations where I'm not so sure. I think in general the public doesn't realize, and this goes for pro players too, realize the impact of patches, A lot of things like changes have a severe placebo effect, and I think this is also something that skews perception in the wrong direction. I think the weight of some patches carry, too big of a burden on people's opinions, and often people that are too lazy to shape their own, they just choose the opinion that fits their own biases, If you're playing an AD carry and you got snapped in half by Camille, someone tells you Camille is OP, you're gonna be like, yeah, you get me. Rascal16 asks, what is a typical day as a coach and as a player in Fnatic from morning to evening? From what time to what time you're working? Well, it's weird to view it as work because it's more of a lifestyle. I think, on my end, I wake up, I prepare for the first session, and then we have lunch together. Make sure that we eat lunch together, and then we have a meeting before scrims. We play our scrim games, which are usually 5 games, unless we make the enemy tilt of the planet and they cancel earlier, or maybe internet. We are getting Berlined. Then after that, we have another meeting, and we have some exercises. We do some extra stuff throughout the day that I don't want to reveal too much, and the details of our scrimming practice I don't want to reveal too much either. And then, at that end of the day, we mingle with each other, play some chess. We play, in general, we just spend time together. And then on top of that, when everyone goes home, everyone just plays solo queue. Everyone watches and consumes the game, which is a choice, but it's a necessary choice because we play a game that is constantly changing, If we compare it to, for example, Counter-Strike, your skills to aim translate super well, and if I don't want to talk to the strategy of the game, but the patching frequency is very different, right? And in League, for example, now we play 11.3 is a very different patch from 11.2, and 11.4 is going to be even greater of a change. So it forces you to always stay in touch with the game, because eventually further down the line there's going to be people that have that energy and excitement to be able to do 14 to 16 hours a day almost naturally. I am blessed because I truly love the game. Like, I finish scrims and I am truly excited to explore more about the game. I love playing the new champions, figuring out the new champions. I accept the idea that everything I know today might be wrong tomorrow. To me, that exploration really, inspires me to play the game, and to, I truly enjoy it. So I'm very fortunate to never, be in a position of that burnout, because in the end, my players too, they enjoy the game very much. And It's all about the culture that you're in and making sure that you can enjoy the game together. That's something that's also important. And it to just end on the time, you know, I think from 11 o'clock when I wake up and I begin to get ready for the morning. And then, you know, I do my stretches and so forth and go to work. You know, I'm usually done, you know, at 11 in the night. But even then, like, being done is me playing solo queue, which also contributes to what I want to achieve. Gab Pinto, what did you see in CoreJJ during Worlds that made you change your opinion about him? I think people are very, you know, weird about how I view CodeJJ. You know, I think I always valued him highly, and I think it's strange to me that people have this perception that I don't view CodeJJ highly. Like, even in the preview of the groups, I was, you know, hyping up Team Liquid because they have two little world champions, you know, on their squads, and like they had with Impact and CodeJJ. I was praising CodeJJ. It was just more about, you know, when it came to the playoffs and the little sample size that I had, CodeJJ wasn't as impressive as some other people might view him. Now, during the World Championship, I think he 1v9'd. Like, he was playing support and jungle at the same time for Team Liquid, and he was impacting the map super much. Was playing his matchups well, and you know, was a very, very, you know, the brightest spot for Team Liquid. And I think that play against higher level supports is something that I value highly. His work ethic in this offseason has been immaculate. You know, I think he was rank 1 at one point. He's been playing all those in-houses. Do you see anyone else work as hard as he does? That's just not the case. You know, there's people that haven't been world champions that don't work as hard as he does, and I think he deserves all the praise for that. The Fireman BG, what do you think about MagiFelix and Crownshot entering Astralis and Vitality, even though MagiFelix is supposed to be temporary thing until Nukta comes back? How do you think it will impact their performance overall? I don't think it is going to change these teams that much. I think, you know, the burden of each player is very, very high already. You know, you can't have one player come in and change the whole fabric of the team. I'm not sure, you know, Crownshot is good, you know, and it's going to be very tough for him to, you know, increase his own stock value on that team, because Vitality is having a rough time. Astralis is the same thing. So we just have to see, because, you know, we don't know the reasons behind this. You know, Nuktak was citing personal reasons, and I don't want to reveal too much. And Vitality, we don't know what reasons. You know, if you are changing things due to internal issues, performance issues, it's very sudden, right? Comp was supposed to be a staple part of this Vitality roster, so you never know how this is going to be, you know, perceived. Maybe it was a thorn in the side that now all of a sudden everyone's going to play better. You know, there's this element where, even though the burden is very heavy on everyone's shoulder in the team, someone can enable and lighten that burden on each individual as well. Maybe, you know, I don't want to speculate anything because I just don't know. I don't know why Comp was removed, and I think, you know, speculating on it makes no sense. And me guessing how it will impact the performance is also, you know, just a guessing game. But I doubt it's going to be like big enough to warrant, you know, an award or something. Mustache or a beard, and why? How Han Chun asks. Well, it's a tough one, because a beard, you know, to me, a beard is with a mustache too, right? Like, if you're asking me between a mustache and like a, you know, just a chin strap, then I would go mustache. Beards to me includes a mustache, so I would go beard. Next Gen Tactics, do you feel any pressure or pride from being in an organization that's a world champion? Also make the boys play with the Fnatic skins, thank you. Well, less so world champion, also like that it's an organization that has won, I believe, 7 LEC titles. I think there's pride in that, you know. It's like, you know, I walk by those trophies and I know that I did absolutely nothing to contribute to those trophies. And there's something motivating, you know, Like I would love to leave a trophy in those halls or many, many more and know that that one I contributed to. So it's like motivation, pressure is motivation for me. I love that type of pressure. I love the pressure of the fans. I love the pressure of the organization, just the colors. I love that because it's so much easier than to convince your peers in your team to think like that, and naturally it attracts people that also think like that. And I think with the group that we have right now, everyone wants to fucking win, and there's something very, very beautiful about that. Worn products. Favorite part of being on Fnatic? Honestly, just hang out. I genuinely enjoy going to work. I enjoy spending time with all of them. I feel very close to every single player and also our staff. And it goes to everyone. Pete, Dan, Chris, Javier, Fabian, and Gary, and then the players. You guys know the players, but the relationships are so good. We can joke around, we can have interactions. Everyone, I can in my heart look in everyone's eyes, even in moments of weakness and in moments of strength. I know that they are doing everything they can to make the situation better, and that to me is just lovely. Geez, Jojo, what are some tips to keep a well-balanced work ethic? Well, it depends on how ambitious you are, and I think there's a different formula for everyone. It's important to be able to have spaces for yourself where you can separate the state of mind that you need to be in those set spaces. For example, when it comes to the PC, any type of free time that I have, I would rather not spend it on PC because I am in a work mode, work zone at my computer. For example, if I tried to play any different game, let's say I took Valorant for a spin, that would turn into an obsession, addiction, because I would be bad. And me being bad at something instantly turns into a really, really terrible obsession. Like I am a person that wants to min-max, and I want to squeeze water out of stone, and I just want to figure out games. So I stay clear. That separation is good. When I'm on my sofa in my living room, I'm in one state of mind, and that is relaxing. But I'm relaxing with intent, right? Because my intention is to succeed in the business that I am in. Resting also comes with intention, because I know that resting will impact my work positively. So for me, it's just making, separating workspace from, living space, relaxing space, and making sure you listen to your own body to make sure that you don't burn out. Listening to your body and understanding your limits, and also pushing them just a little bit, pushing them, because that's how you become stronger and you're capable of doing more. A lot of people are gonna tell you, oh, it's toxic to say that, the expectation is that you have to work 16 hours a day to achieve your dreams or whatever. You don't need to do that. But honestly, to me, that's to me personally, maybe it's not for you, maybe it's not for someone else. For me personally, I think it's a load of crap, On my end, I can be effective many, many hours. I take time to rest as well, of course. But to be the best at something, it's no longer just work. It's a lifestyle, The players and the staff, it's not just a job, right? It's not you go to work and then you go home and then it's finished. No, it's a lifestyle. All of the players, me, the coaching staff, we're making sacrifices, right, to make this possible. We take this opportunity, we do it with sacrifices, Our loved ones see very little of us, they get very little of our energy, and that's a sacrifice that we're making, right? Some players, they left their home, they are living here in apartments by their own, sacrifices, right? And with that in mind, player careers are always hanging by, not a thread, but, it's always relevant to your performance. You cannot slow down. You have one bad year and all of a sudden, it's gone. You need to seize that opportunity. You need to honor that opportunity. You want to push yourself to be the absolute best. And I think this is the case when it comes to, you know, competing in something to become the absolute best. But this is no longer tied to work ethic. This is a very different topic, but I felt like divulging into that direction. The tricky thing is that there is always going to be people right behind you that are willing to put in those 16 hours. They're willing to make those sacrifices. You know, it's the same thing when the discussion occurs about, you know, a lot of the Korean players. So historically, you know, when people look at some of the Korean players, they think that their regimens are very, very unhealthy. Yes, a lot of players get injuries, you know, back injuries and so forth, wrist injuries, and that's very, very common. But at the same time, we're talking sacrifices, right? Trying to push themselves. And there are some individuals that thrive in that environment. That's why, you know, let's say we have a sample size of 500 players that get pushed. They are working 14 to 16 hours a day. Then you have a 500 sample size of players that are going to do, you know, kind of what they want. Let's say they play 6 hours a day, right? 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day. Let's say they play 7 hours a day. I'm pretty certain that the pool where you have 500 players playing 14 to 16 hours a day are going to be, on average, more successful, but at the same time, on average, also probably a lot less healthy, right? And of course, there are ways to optimize. I'm not saying there are no ways to optimize, because there are ways to optimize. You can work out, you can take care of your body, you can take care of your sleep, you can do a lot of things to optimize. But in a world where we just put these two boxes in place, I still think, you know, the group that pushes their limits is going to reach further. But then it comes down to the individual. You know, I took two big sample sizes, 500, and then it comes down to the individual, you know? I wouldn't, like if I'm working with perks, right? I wouldn't fucking push him and say, you need to play 16 hours a day. No. He has figured out how to find his peaks and how to deal with when he is going through valleys. You know, he doesn't fucking need to play 16 hours a day or work, you know, not the case at all. And keep in mind, when I'm saying working 14 to 16 hours a day, it's not necessarily like playing and grinding non-stop, right? There's a lot of things that, you know, you watch VODs, you exercise, you take care of yourself. There are a lot of things that are involved that aren't necessarily just you sitting there on the PC and playing the game. Don't get me wrong. You know, I understand if my wording might have come across this way, but this was not my intention. Nevertheless, this question was about work ethic, and this is where we ended up. My point was, everyone has their own way of finding peaks, and this is something that you, Jojo, you need to explore, because I understand myself. I understand how I need to work in order to, you know, have the best output. Of course, maybe I'm going to, this is a process, right? I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's something that you constantly need to look at and improve. You need to listen to your own body, listen to yourself, and recognize your own, you know, production level, right? The Fuck313 asks, what is the atmosphere in the team? Since Whipple wanted self-made out, I'm guessing it's pretty tense. How do you as a coach solve this type of internal problems? You talk about it. You just talk about it. It's important to talk about it. You never leave any annoyance or disturbance to just be left in the room where people tank it. No, you talk about it. You reach understandings. You reach understandings and you come closer. Come closer to each other. You understand each other better and you function better as a unit. All of the concerns that Bippo had, Selfme had, we address those. We address them on a daily basis because they need to function as a group. It's important that you take time to build bridges. Building bridges comes from two sides. one person can understand the other side better, and the other side can adjust to the other person better, right? And with this, you begin to build bridges, you begin to build paths, and you connect, right? And this is something that we're constantly doing. Right now, our atmosphere is fucking good. You can ask the players. You can ask anyone in the team. I think we've done a good job of creating a culture, creating a foundation to deal with problems. And that is because we're willing to admit that problems will occur. And we actively need to, fight these internal issues as almost like a cancer, because it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger if you just sweep it under the rug. Eventually that rug is going to be fucking uncomfortable to be walking on. Agile Singer 144, do you think the intake of caffeine in esports is doping? Well, it's like, if you begin to have such a conversation where everything becomes very vague, you can consider sleeping doping because it improves your performance. Eating a good, nice meal that isn't too heavy could be considered doping because it enhances your performance or decreases your performance if you eat a fucking bag of chicken nuggets, right? Delicious, but afterwards you feel like shit. It's just, I don't think caffeine should be considered doping. It does improve performance in some cases, and I think the line is just, is all right. I don't think caffeine should be considered doping. Core Walls asks, any particular teams from the other major regions that you would like to face at future international tournaments? I would love to face Cloud9, Team Liquid, EDG, Sandbox, and FPX, RNG again. I have homies over there. And Damwon. Yeah. Doppelduck, how do you prepare drafts? Do you come in with certain picks in mind, discuss beforehand, or what you want to play, or is it more in the moment? Every scenario is already planned out before the draft starts. That's how I do it. CZTM04, TM, Pokemon. Does YamatoCannon like anime? I don't see it as liking anime. It's weird because I don't put it in a specific group. It's like, do you like watching anime? Oh, let's watch anime. It's like, do you like watching movies? It's so vague, right? I think there are some decent animes. I think there are some shit animes, right? And it's like, that's what it is. Death Note was good. I like movies, but I don't like all movies. Like, Death Note movie was a pile of garbage. ER Lawliet. Do players perform better if they are friends? As far as I know, the G2 players watch movies together, play games together, unless they go and get play. Yeah, they do. For sure they do. And my boys, we're fucking friends, man. I enjoy spending time together, man. If it wasn't for this damn pandemic, we would be doing so much, outside together, I'm sure. We play a lot of chess together, we watch games together, we review games, we talk about the game. We live, like we enjoy interacting with each other. And we enjoy screaming together. It's beautiful. It really is lovely. I think being friends, as vague as that might seem, having strong relationships goes a long fucking way. 7blank asks, have you done some special vocal exercise or smoked a lot of pipe cigars to gain that tone of voice? I have done nothing. I used to smoke a lot. Basically, I smoked up to like 40 cigarettes a day for like 2 years of my life, but not anymore. I can't I can't believe that would be the reason. We hype Chris, do you miss Sweden? So like I don't have any special attachment to any location or anything, because I left Sweden very young. I miss my friends, I miss my family, I miss the people that happen to be in Sweden. If they were all in Berlin, would I miss Sweden? I miss kebab tallrik. I miss, Tip Top. They had Viking kebab. That was some good stuff, But all in all, I'm alright. I just miss my loved ones. Ozora, what other teams in LEC are you most afraid of? Is there any team that might surprise everyone? Well, this question was asked a month ago, but I guess Schalke is a bit of a surprise. Am I afraid of them? No, I don't fear any man. I live life as if I died already. I believe Malcolm X said that. Death Agent 10 asks, do you think Upset and Hilly Baba can be the best bot lane in Europe? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. The fucking work ethic on these two boys. Whew. They are engines. Indoctor, Noah, Magi. Holy, you have so much post karma, dude. Jesus, you're commenting on every post on our League of Legends. I've seen it. If you had to remove any champion in the game at all, who would you remove? I would remove... How do you choose who to remove? It's so hard. Because on my end, I'm very pragmatic about it, It's like if I get beaten by a champ, I'll try to figure out why, and I try to counteract it. I never feel cheated because I have the option to ban champions. I have the option to deal with champions in the game. Like there's ways to beat everything, right? And I wouldn't want to delete a champion if it's overtuned, because there are situations where champions, just are OP, like, I wanted to cough and say a champion name, but I realized that, in the middle of season, I don't want to reveal anything, even the slightest opinions. Nevertheless, delete champion, I don't know, man, honestly, everyone's pretty unique. It's surprising how unique every champion is. I'm like scrolling through and honestly, everything looks pretty fine. Like every champion is so unique. I don't think there's like a champion that fits the same basket, Yeah. Wow. Good champion design. I don't delete anything. Richard Hag, what are some of the most memorable comments about your voice you've been given? I was told once that this person said, I would drag my balls through the desert for 1 hour through cacti just to hear your voice through a walkie-talkie. Okay. And that is a perfect place to end it. Thanks so much for watching. Please ask a couple of more questions for the next AMA. I appreciate you. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye. Bless you and bless your face.